Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning trade plan setup for Thursday, July the 16th, 2015. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder of Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is a private group of traders. We've been around now for about 6 years. No fancy website, no sales pitch. This is just us trading and sharing our ideas. We do run a subscription service, so if you're interested in finding out about our live trade room, currently for the month we are up 71 points in the ES. So if you want to find out more about it, give me a phone call at 647-545-8065 or send me an email at quantumleaptrading@gmail.com. Each morning we get together to go through the structure and routine, our morning trade plan setup. We look at the macro to the micro, we look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down and put our trade levels in and our hypothesis and our targets for the day. Before I get started, let me get the legals done. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in here are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan and your own risk metrics. Okay, so news today. We had news at 8:30. We do have an ECB press conference going on right now. I don't know if it's still going, but it started at 8:30. Unemployment claims came in as expected, just slightly lower, 284. It was expected. We got 281. Big one was the Canadian foreign purchases dropped off considerably. Also yesterday, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, but Canada put out a statement. They're expecting a recession and a pullback. They cut the rate from 0.75 to 0.5. So they're taking the initiative in cutting rates when the Fed is talking about slowly looking at a time to raise the rates. I think that you're going to see, if Canada is already taking that step, that we could see a rate drop on the next FOMC. 9:30, we've got news out of Great Britain, CB leading index, but the big one is going to be the Philly Fed at 10 a.m. Eastern Time and NAHB housing. We've got natural gas at 10:30 Eastern, and then 2 o'clock and 2:30, we've got Bank of England, Governor Carney speaking, and then we've got Yellen testifying again. So there is news, pretty much throughout the day. Of course, we have headline news as well we've got to pay attention to. Yesterday, our trade plan, we were looking for a rotational day with a little bit of upside bias. We opened and then we went up and tested the first trade level, broke above it, went up and hit our target up at 2107.75. Our target was 2107 and a quarter, just front running the overnight high at 2107.50. Came back down, rejected that level, and we basically just chopped around the VWAP and the high of yesterday. I finally gave up trying to find anything but a scalp and quit for the day. And then, of course, what happens is they have the news of the Greece riots, and they finally broke. I was looking for this break below 2102 open to get short into that 98 area and the takeout of the overnight low. So we did have a neutral day yesterday. Therefore, we have to look at the possibility of a neutral day today. So looking for a rotational day with a little bit of upside bias, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. I always like to start my day looking at the trends on the different time frames. I start with a monthly simple bar chart with a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. And I'm looking for slope and separation and whether or not the trend has been violated or not. You can see we've got good slope and separation. Going down to the weekly, so the trend is very strong on the monthly. In the last 2 weeks, we've been trading below the 9 and the 20, testing the trend and looking to see if we were going to start another trend. And so far this week we've popped back up and we're trading above. So basically consolidation on the weekly, and trend is there's no trend at the current moment. On the daily, same thing on the daily. We had gap down. We were looking at that naked cross at 2098 and a quarter that we left on the daily. We talked about that for the last 10 days, about it coming up and getting filled, as well as the gap, and we've now got the gap fill. We do have a naked cross that we're creating right now on the daily, down at 2083.50. So mark that down on your calendar or on your journal. And but we do have a possibility of a start of a trend up on the daily. Drilling down to the intraday to see if we have any trends coming into the RTH session on the 4-hour. This trend we've been talking about for the last 2 days, very much. What is going on with my charts? This trend is very much intact right now. Good slope, good separation. We're holding the 9 very nicely, and price is paralleling the 9. So the trend is very strong on the 4-hour. Going down to the 30-minute, same thing on the 30-minute. We've got a pretty decent trend going on. We did test the 20 SMA, and then we rejected it and came back up, and we're now trading above and making a new high in the market this tonight. Our high was 21.13.15. We're now 21.14.75. So a little bit higher than anticipated. And then, but we do have a possible tech gap, Mr. Sneaky, on the 30-minute. A tech gap fill is going to bring us back down probably around that 21.12 and a quarter CLVN to close this gap. And then going to the 15-minute, you can see this again, another possible FUBAR tech gap, Mr. Sneaky. Tech gap will be in around that 21.12 and a quarter. This is the FUBAR, high volume, selling wick, and then the indecision. This isn't completed yet, but this is a possible Mr. Sneaky, definitely a tech gap. You'll probably see it even better on the 5-minute. And you can see that we've got this tech gap. There's the FUBAR, there's the Mr. Sneaky. So still looking for a pullback towards that 21.12 and a quarter. So let's take a look at the big picture and the structure of the market. Of course, we've been tracking this this micro composite, this balance area and value area from going back from February the 5th. Let me just bring this down a little bit. Did I move my? Oh, things are not going well this morning. All right. I don't know why that is the 11th. It should be all the way over here to the 5th. I can get the right one. Frustrating. Come on. There we go. I just want to grab this one. There we go. Okay. So that is from the 5th. Okay. So right now, our value area high from this micro composite, this balance that we've been in since February, the VPOC has shifted back from the 87.50 back up to the 93.75. The value area high is up here at 2106.75. We're currently above value. I'm going to have to work these smaller micro composites up because I just messed up my chart. But the key here is we're back up in this micro composite VPOC area, which goes from the 18th to the 26th. And the VPOC there is 21.14.50. The CHVN above us, so this is balanced right now. It was earlier 2111, and with the news, we've popped up into 2114. So the key level today for trading is going to be this 2112 and a quarter, and then below that, the 2108.75 with the key line in the sand below us at this 2106 and a quarter, 2106.75 area. If I'm expecting rotation in this area with a pullback to 2112.50, maybe back to the high from the prior day, and a test of these levels between 2108.75 and 2106, 2107. And then I'm looking for responsive buyers to step in here and rotate us back up and rotate up in here, testing this 2118 and a quarter, possibly up to the 2120 and a quarter, 2120.25. Not only this is a range high, but this is also a key CLVN that we had in the June contract. Excuse me for 1 second. And then we have all our unequalized highs up there, 2124.50 RTH September high, then above that 2126 and a quarter, the all-time Globex high for September, and then we have 32 and a quarter and 34, which are the two highs from June, the RTH high and the Globex high. But I'm not expecting them to get hit today, but they are a possibility. Right now, our overnight low, our 20-day average true range is running 25.31. So off of the low so far tonight, 2102.75, we have a possibility of going up and hitting 21.28. Same thing with the ATR to the short side. Our ATR target to the short side is 2083.50. I'm really looking at that 2089, and I'll show you why. But I'm not expecting a bigger down move today. I'm expecting a lot of chop in this area as we try to hold value outside of the value area that we just broke out of. So we're going to gap up and we're going to try to hold value. If we closed, settlement closes 2104.75. We're currently trading 2114 and 50 and 2104.75. So the half gap fill is 2109. I'm looking at the 2108 and a quarter as a half gap fill. I'm sorry, 2108.75 as a half gap fill if they come back and test this level. But let's take a look at the overnight and then start moving our numbers over and put in our trade plan trade levels and our targets. Our overnight high, we just put in another overnight high. We probably have a possibility of expanding this high, but right now our overnight high is up here at 2115.50. Our overnight low is down at 2102.75. And our overnight VPOC is 2111 and a quarter. All right, so first thing we got to look at, we're going to be opening up outside of range and outside of value. So we want to watch the open and the open type. We're going to get an open auction out of range, but we could get initiative buyers stepping in and ripping us up to to new levels. So we've got to look for an open auction out of range or a open drive. If we see responsive sellers stepping in here, then I'm looking for a move back, and the first key level I'm going to look to trade off of is this 2112 and a quarter. Below that, I want to get short for a move down to the half gap fill, which is going to be that 2108.75. And then possibly going down and testing the range high down here at 2107.75. And I've got to be careful all the way down to the 21. Sorry, I'm losing my voice today. Let me just expand this out for a second. all the way down to this 2106.75. So I don't want to get short. And then just below that, we've got the 2106 and a quarter, which is our value area high. So really, if I'm not already short, I'm looking to get into a trade in this area, I have to wait for them to break below the 2106 and a quarter to take the short into the target, which is going to be the gap fill at 2104. What was it? Close 2104 and a quarter. Sorry, I said 75. And then just below that, we've got the naked VPOC at 2103. And you can see that 2103.75 is our CHVN. And then the overnight low at 2102.75. So I've got three big targets here below the value area. So if I don't get short here, which I will likely do, I'll get short with the break of 2112 and a quarter. I'm going to be targeting the half gap fill with a test of the range, but I'm really looking for it to dip into the range and test the 2106 and a quarter, at which time between 2107.75 and 2106 and a quarter, I'll be looking for responsive buyers to hold us and keep us out of the range and rotate back up and work through our numbers to the upside. But if we break below the 2106 and a quarter, then I'm looking for a bigger move down into this rotation, into the upper distribution of the prior day, down in around this 2102 to 2104. And then if we hold inside here for a couple TPO counts, then I'm looking for it to come all the way down and test the 2100. My targets below are going to be the midpoint at 2105, 2101.50, and then I'll be looking for continuation down to test the centennial number and the value area low. I don't expect to get much lower than that, but if we do break below the 2100, then your first target below is going to be the 2197.50 and the 2095, and then the main target below. The first target below range and value is going to be that 93.75. Remember, 93.75 is the microcomposite VPOC for the period going all the way back to February the 5th till now. So if we get back below range and below value, I'm looking for a bigger move down with the main target below value and range down here at this 2089. We got a naked VPOC down here, and that's near our 20-day ATR range target to the downside with 87.50 and 84 and a quarter. And then the key line in the sand for me right now for a bigger move down and the continuation, the possibility of going down and hitting that measured move down at 2019 is this 2082.50. I'm not expecting them to get below 2082.50 if we're going to go and take out those overnight, those all-time highs. But if we do get below 2082.50, then I think we're going to come back down and start exploring back where we were for the last 10 days with the 10-day microcomposite VPOC being all the way down here at 2057.50, and then possible continuation for that measured move on the head and shoulders. But I think the head and shoulders pattern is going to get violated, and if not this week, next week, if we can hold those levels. So those are the levels I'm looking to the downside. Now to the upside, if we see initiative buyers stepping in right at the open, I'm looking for a move up into the 2115 with the target at 2116 and a quarter. That's CHVN. And then the key line in the sand for me above right now is the value area of the microcomposite where we are trying to hold value the last time we broke out of that balance. And that value area high is 2118 and a quarter. If we can get above 2118 and a quarter, there's really not much holding us down. The first response of selling I'd be looking for is 21.20 and a quarter, and then we got targets that are 21.2450. September RTH high, all-time high, and then 21.26 and a quarter, which is our September all-time high put in the Globex. This is unequalized, and then we've got the 32 and a quarter and 34, and right now our ATR target to the upside is this 21.28. But you've got the 32.25 all-time RTH high before the adjustment to September, and then the all-time high we put in the June contract at 21.34. And then we've got measured moves again at 39, 42.50, and 21.50 and above. I don't think we're going to get up there today. I think we could test with the possibility of at least coming up to this 21.24 and testing. But because we had a neutral day yesterday, we could just chop around in this zone between 18 and a quarter and 12.25, maybe even dip down to the 21.0875. So I'm looking long. As long as we're above 21.0875, I will be looking to add on to my swing trade. I'm still running my my swing long from that Monday night or Sunday night entry at 20.5475. I've built quite a bit of Theo up on it, and right now I've got my stop at 20.9275. Take a quick look at gold. Got a couple minutes. Gold, as we expected, is continued to move down. We've broken out of this this balance right here. Current balance right now is 46.10. This 44.60 level was a level we were talking about. If we had broken out of that 11.51 value area low below the CLVN, we were looking for that first target at 46.90 and a possible test of this 44.60. We're broken below that. Remember, our big target below on gold is still down here at 11.28. So if we hold below this 11.50 and a quarter, look for rotation in around 46.10. But if we can't get back above 11.44.60, then look for continued price discovery down towards the first target down here at 37.90, with 34 as balance below, or as support below that, and then anything below that. This is going to be a pretty good trade now if we break the 34 to get to come down to this 11.28. That's the next big destination below us, and this is what we've been looking for. Above 11.50 and a quarter, look for them rotate back up into the balance that we just broke out of up here at 11.54, possibly even up to 11.56.90. And then above 62.70, then we're breaking to the balance to the upside, and I'd be looking for a move. I don't know why my micro composites are not staying on my chart here. Back up into this 1167, 1168 area. Possibly even the 1172 area. It should be moved over to here. 1172.60 with the big destination above up here at 1177.30. So that's what I'm looking for gold. So that's going to complete our pre-market morning session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.